Local elections are not a trivial matter. They are the lifeblood of our democracy, the mechanism by which the public holds power to account. So, when the government steps in and makes decisions that impact the ability of people to choose their representatives, it is crucial to ask, who benefits and who loses? The postponement of local elections in key areas of England is not a mere scheduling issue or a bureaucratic inconvenience. It is a calculated move, one that weakens our democratic foundations and raises serious concerns about the integrity of our local governance system. The government's announcement to delay local elections scheduled for May 2025 in areas such as East Sussex, West Sussex, Essex, and Hampshire is nothing short of a betrayal to the very people it purports to serve. It's a move made in the name of local government reorganization, but this claim is flimsy at best. We are not dealing with a temporary delay, as the Deputy Prime Minister suggested, but a clear and deliberate cancellation of elections that could last up to 3 years. The result? Councillors serving terms that could stretch to 7 years, a staggering breach of the principles of democratic representation. Let's cut to the chase. The public is being misled. On February 5th, the Deputy Prime Minister stated that the elections were being postponed for just 1 year, to be rescheduled for May 2026. But on February 17th, a written parliamentary response from the government confirmed that the creation of new unitary governments in these areas would take place no earlier than 2027 or 2028. This glaring discrepancy is not just an oversight, it is a calculated move to delay, possibly even indefinitely, the restoration of democratic oversight in local councils. This is not just a logistical error. It is an attempt to extend the terms of councillors far beyond what is acceptable. Local elections are the bedrock of accountable governance. When people vote, they are not just selecting representatives, they are asserting their right to choose those who will make decisions about their schools, healthcare, public transport, and the very communities in which they live. To deny the people of these areas that right for up to 3 years is an affront to democracy itself. Some will argue that the government's decision is driven by the need for reorganization. After all, local authorities are often in need of reform to better serve the needs of their communities. Yet, this is a weak excuse. We have seen similar cases in the past, where governments have used the banner of reorganization to justify postponing or cancelling elections. The reality is that reorganization, while important, should never come at the cost of citizens' right to vote. The government can implement reforms while respecting the electoral cycle. These actions are not mutually exclusive. The government's claim that reorganization is necessary does not hold up when scrutinized. Local government reform is undeniably important, but so is the right of citizens to have a voice in who governs them. If the government truly believes in the necessity of these changes, it must present a transparent and clear plan for how these reforms will be implemented without disenfranchising voters. The fact that elections are being delayed for up to 3 years suggests the government is prioritizing bureaucratic convenience over the rights of its people. This cannot, and should not, be tolerated. Furthermore, the suggestion that this delay is merely a technicality, a temporary disruption in the smooth running of democracy, is patronizing. It dismisses the very real consequences of disenfranchising communities. The postponement of these elections removes the opportunity for people to hold their local governments accountable, at a time when public frustration with the status quo is at an all-time high. Forcing communities to endure this delay without proper justification is not just irresponsible, it is dangerous. It sends the message that the government is more interested in keeping control of local councils than in ensuring that local residents have the power to choose their own leaders. Let us not forget the history here. The government's argument that the opposition party was similarly guilty of postponing local elections in the past is, at best, a diversion. The past is not an excuse for poor governance today. The failure to hold elections now is not a reflection of past mistakes but a deliberate decision to deprive people of their democratic right in the present. This is not about retribution for past actions, it is about protecting the future of our local democracy. It is clear that this is a strategic move, a bid by the government to maintain control over key local authorities, while avoiding the potential political fallout of a truly democratic process. The truth is, if the government cared about the health of local democracy, it would not be cancelling elections, but rather ensuring that these elections happen on time, with the necessary reforms carefully implemented alongside them. This government must be held accountable. The postponement of these elections is not just a logistical error, it is an attack on the very principles of democratic representation. By denying citizens their right to vote, it undermines the very foundation upon which our society is built. The government must act immediately to ensure that these elections are rescheduled for the soonest possible date. Anything less would be an unforgivable affront to the people it claims to serve. The public deserves better, and it is time for our leaders to remember who they are truly working for.